Welcome to The Explainer. Okay, let's just dive right into this. Today we're unpacking a truly fascinating framework from Dr. Joseph Murphy's 1963 classic guide, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. This is one of those books that really fundamentally shifted how people view the hidden potential locked away inside their own heads. Rather than just kind of taking life as it comes, Murphy suggests that we have this internal powerhouse that, if we can actually understand and direct it, can completely transform our reality.
Murphy starts things off by asking a series of incredibly direct questions, just to get us thinking. He asks, why is one man sad and another man happy? Why is one man joyous and prosperous and another man poor and miserable? Why does one person conquer an incurable illness while another doesn't? It's so easy to just chalk it all up to luck, right? Or circumstance, or maybe genetics. But Murphy argues the answer to all of these questions lies somewhere else entirely. It's all in the distinct workings of your conscious and subconscious minds.
So here is our roadmap for today. We're going to start with the treasure house within, then figure out exactly how your mind works, explore the power of suggestion, look at the mechanics of mental healing, and we'll finish up with some highly practical programming techniques.
All right, Section 1, The Treasure House Within.
The core premise here is just incredibly empowering. Murphy states that an infinite source of power, wisdom, and intelligence is already waiting to be accessed inside your own mind. You don't need to go out and acquire this power. You literally just need to learn how to open the door to it. To put this into perspective, think about the number 12. Murphy uses this brilliant analogy from physics. He points out that a magnetized piece of steel can lift about 12 times its own weight. But if you demagnetize that exact same piece of steel, it can't even lift a feather. Murphy says human beings are exactly the same way. The magnetized person is full of confidence and faith. They just know they're born to win. The demagnetized person, on the other hand, is completely paralyzed by fears and doubts. When an opportunity pops up, they immediately think, oh, I might fail. People are going to laugh at me. To become that magnetized person who lifts 12 times their weight, you have to discover the master secret of the ages, and that is your subconscious mind.
Moving right along to Section 2, How Your Mind Works.
To actually become that magnetized person, we really have to stop talking in abstractions and break down the literal mechanics of the mind. You only have one mind, obviously, but it has two totally distinct spheres of activity. Think of your conscious mind as the objective, rational captain standing up on the bridge of a ship. The captain looks through the instruments and barks out orders. Your subconscious mind, though, that's the subjective, irrational crew down in the engine room. The folks in the engine room do not know where they're going. They don't argue with the captain. They simply follow the orders given to them blindly and automatically. If the captain issues faulty instructions based on his rational mind's fears or worries, well, the engine room will unquestioningly steer that ship right into the rocks.
And this dynamic is brilliantly illustrated using another really powerful analogy from the text, the gardener and the soil. Your conscious mind is the gardener, planting seeds all day long based on your habitual thinking. Your subconscious mind is the soil. And here is the absolutely crucial point. The soil does not care if you plant a beautiful flower or a toxic weed. It doesn't argue, it doesn't judge, and it doesn't try to reason with you. It just grows whatever you plant. Every single thought you have is a cause, and every condition in your life is an effect. If your conscious mind habitually thinks of lack, or limitation, or fear, your subconscious soil is going to faithfully grow those exact conditions right into your life.
Which brings us perfectly to Section 3, The Power of Suggestion.
Okay, so we know the conscious mind plants the seeds, but how exactly do those seeds get passed down to the subconscious engine room? The answer is through suggestion. And we have to start by looking outward at what Murphy calls heterosuggestion. Big word, I know, but it simply means suggestions and influence coming from another person or an outside source. Throughout our entire lives, from childhood straight through to adulthood, we are bombarded by heterosuggestion. It comes from our parents, teachers, the daily news, society, our peers, you name it.
Think of a phrase like, you'll never amount to anything, or maybe you're going to fail, or you just can't trust anyone. When we are told these negative heterosuggestions, especially when we're young and we really don't know how to defend against them, we unconsciously accept them. They become our major premise. And because the subconscious mind accepts what the conscious mind believes to be true, these outside influences can literally distort our entire life pattern. They create a reality of failure and misery simply because we blindly accepted someone else's negative suggestion. Crazy, right?
But listen, you do not have to be a victim to all that outside programming. The antidote here is autosuggestion. This is the active process of suggesting something definite and specific to yourself to reprogram your own mind.
Autosuggestion is the reconditioning therapy you really must actively use to counteract the sheer mass of negative verbal conditioning from the world. You are the watchman at the gate. By deliberately choosing to feed your mind with constructive autosuggestions, you neutralize all those destructive ideas that are constantly trying to sneak in.
Moving into Section 4, the mechanics of mental healing.
Now, Murphy explores how various groups throughout history, we're talking everyone from ancient temple priests to modern-day practitioners, how they all claim to have produced miraculous physical healings. So the really crucial point he makes is this. Murphy states that it is not the actual thing believed in that brings the answer to a prayer or a healing. Whether someone is using a specific religious ritual, some kind of so-called magic amulet, or a modern psychological technique, the healing principle is universally the exact same. The law of life is the law of belief. He reports that blind belief itself, just a confident expectancy accepted by the subconscious mind, is what triggers the subconscious to execute the healing. Because the subconscious mind actually created the body in the first place, Murphy argues it intrinsically knows how to repair it, provided the conscious mind just stops interfering with fear and instead delivers a total unquestioning belief in health.
But here is where most people get it totally wrong. They try to force their mind to believe. Murphy emphasizes what we might call the easy does it pivot. If you use willpower, well, actually scratch that. If you try to force it, you immediately imply that there's an opponent, right? And your intellect just gets in the way. Mental coercion actually blocks your results. Instead, Murphy says the absolute most effective way to impress the subconscious is to immobilize your attention and enter a drowsy, sleepy state. In this super relaxed state, your conscious resistance is reduced to an absolute minimum, which allows your new belief to just easily sink right into the soil.
And that brings us to Section 5, Practical Programming Techniques.
Okay, so we've covered the theory. Now, how do we actually put this into practice? First up is the sleeping technique, which is strongly influenced by the Bodun technique. Because the highest degree of subconscious outcropping happens right before you fall asleep and just after you wake up, this is your prime programming window. Step 1, relax into a nice sleepy state. Step 2, condense your desire into a very brief phrase so it can be easily engraved on your memory. For example, something like, "It is finished in divine order." Step 3, just repeat it over and over again like a lullaby. Do this quietly, feeling it deeply, until you drop off to sleep, letting that idea completely bypass your conscious resistance.
Another really incredible tool here is the mental movie method. Murphy says a picture is worth 1,000 words, and your subconscious will bring to pass any picture held in the mind that is backed by faith. So, step 1, relax completely on a couch or a chair. Step 2, visualize the desired end result. For instance, picture the exact physical check in your hand for a property you're trying to sell. Step 3, feel the reality of the scene. You really have to play the role of the actor here. Feel the actual thrill of accomplishment. Don't think of it as something happening way off in the future. Feel the naturalness of it happening right now.
Murphy's text is honestly packed with a versatile toolkit. If visualization just isn't your thing, no worries. You can use the thank you technique, where you cultivate a deep mood of gratitude for the thing you desire, acting as if you already have it. There's the affirmative method, which is stating a truth with absolute mathematical certainty. The argumentative method, where you literally act like a lawyer in the courtroom of your own mind, reasoning away the false beliefs that are causing your problem. Or even the absolute method, where you simply contemplate the infinite qualities of harmony and peace to elevate your consciousness. The underlying goal of all these methods is exactly the same: to confidently, peacefully pass the idea right down to the subconscious engine room. And that brings us to the end of our explainer. We've seen today that your mind is a garden, your thoughts are the seeds, and your subconscious is the fertile soil that is going to grow whatever you plant. You are the captain of your ship. So the ultimate question you really have to ask yourself as you go to sleep tonight is this: what will you order your subconscious to build? Thanks so much for joining this explainer, and hey, start planting those good seeds.